What is going on, you guys? Today I have another video review for you. This one is from a channel called Passport Heavy, and the title is Medellin, Colombia Cost of Living, Tourist Edition. Let's get into it. By the way, the title of this video is a joke. You're going to find out why these people love living in this place.
If I was making $40,000 a year and I could live anywhere in the world, there's a couple places that shoot right to the top of my mind. That's either Medellin, Colombia, or anywhere in Thailand because of the cost of living. I'm all about first world living at third world prices. And what inspired this video, I was out with my boy OJ in New York at this nightclub called One Oak. And if you know anything about this place, it ain't cheap. And so we got a deal, right? We got a deal for $1,500, and it came with 2 bottles, and I was like, I ain't doing this anytime soon. And I started to think about, like, what does it cost to do, a weekend in a city, right? If you're in LA, if you're in Miami, if you're in Vegas. And I was like, yo, it's not cheap. If you're making $40,000, you're gonna be putting this on credit cards, or you're just gonna be like, I'm saving for a couple of years for this trip. And so right now I live in beautiful Medellin, Colombia. And the cost of doing a weekend right out here is on another planet. Flights down here are really easy, right? From Chicago, where I'm from, it's about 500 round trip, and they have all of these different flash sales.
Think about what he just said, by the way. 500 round trip, and he was just talking about paying like $1,000, $1,500 a night for, like, I don't know, a VIP section in a club in New York or Miami or something like that. Like, you can tell the difference in obviously what would be a better bang for your buck in the first place, because you could actually do that same exact experience and spend less by going to somewhere like Medellin or Thailand or whatever, right? And I like that he's starting the video with the nightlife thing. I'm not really much of a nightlife guy. Like, I'm not really into drinking, partying, or clubbing, but that would be like probably the most expensive thing that you do outside of rent. And by the way, obviously that means that you can save a lot more money if you're not really partying that much too. There's a lot of cool things that you can do, like different hiking and checking out different places, the nature, eating out for a lot cheaper, but he's going to get into it. Let's keep going.
If you leave from New York, I see 300 round trip, and that's like the same price as going to Miami, New York, or something similar. On the flip side, you have Thailand, which I really love, but you're looking at $1,000 plus, as well as a 24-hour flight. So that's where, the big difference comes in. But I highly recommend Thailand. I couldn't recommend Thailand enough. You got the dogs barking out here, but it's all good. The major difference between Colombia and Thailand is you can walk more than 4 feet without running into a tourist. And I love tourists, but it's just more of a cultural experience, without, so many people catering to tourists right now. But people are mad friendly out here. They're like, hola, ¿cómo estás? And that's pretty much as far as my Spanish go. I need to improve it. Hola, mamacita. Hola, bonita. Hola. That's pretty much all I know. Tourism down here hasn't completely taken off because they still have that negative perception of that it's a hole, basically overrun by narcos, but that could not be the furthest thing from the truth. It's such an ignorant point of view. And so I just want to take you around with me here for the next few days so you can see what's possible here if you come down here for a weekend. My specific little neighborhood here is called San Lucas Poblado. It's one of the most exclusive neighborhoods here in the country. What I want to do is just kind of take you around my crib right now so you can find out, how much does it cost for a crib like this if you want to come down and rent it through Airbnb. So this is 5,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms plus a maid quarters, which is like a real bedroom, and it has a very open floor plan. Great for entertaining when my friends are over. Everyone can be in different places of the crib. So this place is 10 million pesos a month, which is equivalent to about $3,400 US. And then I also pay my electricity and internet bill, which is about $400. So you're looking at about $3,800 a month for living expenses here. Something equivalent, if I had like a 6-month lease in like Chelsea in New York for this size place, it'd probably be somewhere around $30,000 a month. If you're coming down just for a weekend, right? Something like this would be about $400 a night through Airbnb. And then if you're not doing the Airbnb option, they've got hotels here, which, are really cool, anywhere from 70 to like 140 bucks a night. And they come with like breakfast in great locations, really safe. And one of the things that you can do too is use something like Hotwire and Ebates, and you can pretty much cut that price in half to like $50 a night or $40 a night. But if you're not familiar how to use that, I wrote a whole blog post. You'll see the link in the description where I describe, how to take advantage of that. And now let's talk about taking care of the crib, right? We need someone to help because one of the things that we do is we work and work out a lot at home.
It's time to work out, man. I got some fitness goals. So my brother is the leader in the house when it comes to this fitness stuff, abnormal fitness. Trying to get more like him. He's my inspiration, like for real, when it comes to this game. And I gotta, like, just being real, I wanna have a 6-pack like my brother. And so I gotta put in this work. Don't get this on film. Finishing up this workout, feeling a little bit tired, but we're about to really get this day started. About to go get some fresh old plane, hop a shower, and probably get dirty again.
One of the things that's really important for us is that we eat right. And so I have basically a third mom down here, and her name is Marta. And she's just amazing. She does it all here. I don't know how my life would function without her, literally. Because minimum wage is $650,000 a month here, that's what most service workers get here. But Marta does such an amazing job for us. I pay her $1 million a month. But that is equal to, I think, about $300, maybe $350 a month US. And she comes 5 days a week. She comes at 9 a.m. and she leaves at 5, every single day. And if you had something comparable, in New York, you'd be looking at like $4,000 or $5,000, a month. But I'm leaving here on August.
Okay, I think these are actually really good examples, by the way, because I was thinking he's showing a lot of like really expensive versions that are like could maybe deter someone who's seen videos on like Thailand, for example. He's made a lot of really good points though, and this is what I want to bring up. So the biggest thing is he's showing basically if you're spending like if you want to spend a decent amount when you're in Colombia, you can get a really, really nice spot, right? And this, like, because he was talking about spending like 3,000 plus, which is something like you could spend in the U.S., for example, right? So you can actually still get a really, really nice place in Colombia and Medellin or maybe Bogota or something like that, wherever you want to, explore for a very, very good price. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I was spending probably 700 or 800, and I could have been spending half of that, like Thailand prices, like 450 or less, if I wasn't renting on Airbnb. So if I rented from a local and figured that situation out, then like with his example, right, you could see he's in a really, really nice apartment, right? Like, it's almost like a penthouse, more like super nice condo style, a lot of space in there too. Right? So just think about that. Like, he's really, really putting out a lot of money for something super nice. And you could still get something that's still pretty nice overall for a lot less. Like, the places I was in were still pretty nice, and I was paying closer to like 700 a month, right? And honestly, you could spend less than that. It just, if you're starting to rent off Airbnb, if you want to stay there longer, that would be the move. You just got to start meeting the locals. And again, I love that he brought this up earlier. A lot of them are really friendly. I know like some of Colombia or like Medellin gets a bad rap, because there is, there are circumstances where, foreigners have had bad experiences. Oftentimes that's around nightlife and drinking with someone that you don't know, right? Like accepting a beer from someone that's open, because there's a drug there called scopolamine that I think everybody should know about. It's kind of like a drug that they'll drop in your drink. I also heard that they can blow it like a dust into your face, if it's like in their hand maybe, or on a card, I don't know. But it'll turn you into like a zombie, right? And I don't want to scare anyone here, because I never had any bad experiences in Colombia or Peru or Mexico. And it's unlikely that you will, assuming that you don't put yourself into funny situations with people that you don't know, or accepting drinks from people that you don't know, right? Because you don't want to end up in a weird situation just because you weren't being street smart. Essentially, that's the thing at the end of the day. And I'm sorry for the people that have had to deal with that, because obviously that's a really frustrating situation. But just make sure to keep your wits about you, and that's it. And you can have a really amazing time, even spend like what I was spending, like 700, 800, and have a really nice gym there too. So I mean, let's keep going with the video.
26. So one of the things is Marta's not coming with me. So if you need, an amazing woman, I couldn't recommend Marta enough. My assistant, just basically you'll see an email address here, info@passportheavy.com. I'm so slow, I don't even know what my own assistant's email is. Get in contact with her and she'll direct you to Marta if you want to do that.
Food's so good. You can always count on Marta to have a good meal out here. Never fails.
I work online, I have an online marketing company, so I get to, experience, the great benefits of, making US dollars but spending in pesos. So you're not gonna stay in your Airbnb or your hotel the entire time. There's so many amazing activities to do out here. And one of my favorite places is a place called Mahalos. I was actually just Googling the best view in Medellin, and this spot came up for food and sunset views. But when we got there, we found out there was so much more to do than just eat and have a drink. They had paintballing, they had like dirt bikes. It's an action sports spot. So we went back the next day, you get 200 rounds of balls and light that ass up.
We ready for battle. Hey, vamos.
Over here.
And folks, that is not how you roll.
me try?
They got like this flower game, and then they got food too. And I was like, wow, and that's per person, 55,000 pesos. And then also, while we're on the topic of extreme sports, this was probably my favorite thing to do while I was here in Medellin. It was flyboarding in this spot called Guadape. It was about a 2-hour car ride from here, or about a 45-minute helicopter ride. If you don't know what flyboarding is, I'm sure you're watching this footage. The one recommendation that I have, make sure you get a helmet on, because if you go up high like me and come down wrong, you might just get knocked out. But 15 minutes on here is 90,000 pesos, which is about 30 bucks. And then in New York, it's $100 for 15 minutes. And you might be wondering, how am I getting all these prices from New York? I simply just did a Google search and I was like, all right, what does it cost to do here in New York? So everything that you hear me talking about, I just Googled it and saw what the exact price was for the number one ranked place for paintballing, or if it was flyboarding, or whatever activity it is that I'm talking about. If you know anything about me, if you've seen my videos before, you know the boy loves to jump on the ATVs, get muddy, get messy. And so there's this place called Medellin Adventure Trails. And they don't just have ATVs, they've got mountain bikes, anything extreme, they have it. And so this is one of my favorite activities. I forgot the price off the top of my head, but you'll see that thing flash across the screen right here. And if you're anything like me, I definitely know you like to eat. The boy be eating, that's why I gotta work out. So there's this spot real close to Mahalos, one of the best views in the city. It's called La Majoria. As soon as you walk into La Majoria, you can just see that this place is world class. They got all these animals, I don't even know what the hell the name, you know, the one with the, like the one's got like the long neck, and it's like, no, no. The horses are doing like, what the type trick, they're like, and I'm like, I don't even know how they be doing that, bro, but it's crazy. The food there is, I mean, it's amazing. I had the whole squad out. I had some of my friends visiting from all over. I mean, everyone just came out, and we went in, appetizers, you know, a couple entrees, and the whole meal came to about 500,000 pesos, which is like $150, $160. Something similar, if that was in New York for 10 people for that caliber of place, you're looking at like 700, 800, maybe $1,000 for that type of meal. Because we went in, we had drinks. I mean, I'm like, yo! My bank account would be hurting if I was trying this in New York or Miami. Say you don't want to go all fancy, you're not bougie, you're just like, yo, let me get a burrito, I'm chill, I just want to get some food. And I would say a typical meal here in Colombia right now with the exchange rate is like, for a decent, nice place, it's like $5, $6 per person. And so it's so affordable. Woo! About to get it in, I got my 30th birthday coming up, so the inspiration to get in shape is higher than ever. And being here in Colombia, you see extraordinary looking people every single day. So you surround yourself with that type of inspiration, you're gonna want to take it to the next level. Right now, it's about mid-July, my birthday's September 24th, so we're gonna see if I put up or I'm just all talk. I'm about to get it in here at the Body Tech, let's get it. So I went there, and for a whole month, it cost about 220,000 pesos. This is one of the things that's not actually cheaper than like the rest of the world. It's actually more expensive, or right on par with, you know, top gyms. So that's about $75 a month. And you know the boy gotta stay fresh for the little hair that I got left, right? I headed over to Swaggerific or Swag, I forgot the name, but I know they got something to do with swag. And they'll get you cut up and beard, hair, everything for 15,000 pesos, which is $4.89. You know?
I like that he brings this up too, because when I was in Bogota, I would get a haircut once a week, which was completely unnecessary. This is coming from someone, you might think that sounds crazy. This is coming from someone who used to go like months or years without a haircut, right? When I started doing it more consistently, it was maybe once a month max, or up to about 3 months before I got a haircut. And I would just do like my beard at home. And so think about that. Like, let's say I waited once a month and got a haircut in the US, that would be like 30 or 40 bucks at a nice place. And here you could get a haircut for $10 or less. So technically you can go every week. You don't have to. You go every 2 weeks or 3 or 4, however often you want to go. But really, really excellent point. It's basically 1/4 the cost or less.
No, because I was on Snapchat today, and I was talking about, I went on XC, I was like, yo, I'm at the barber shop. 15,000 is, I went to XC, $4.89. You know what that is in New York? Man, I was in Manhattan, man, visiting my boy Brandon. We were doing some work, and I just went across the street, and he's like, 35 bucks. I was like, 35 bucks, who?
Okay, this makes a lot more sense now, because that was Brandon Carter, which has a gigantic YouTube channel, like over 1 million, maybe almost like 2 million subscribers, and he's got his own online fitness business. So it makes sense. This guy is basically spending a lot more than necessary here. So let's use his rent example earlier. Like, let's say that it was 3,000, or just to be safe, for an easy example, let's say it was like 4,000 a month. He's got like a penthouse suite, super nice apartment, right? Lots of space. You could basically spend like 1/4 of that in Colombia for the rent. So like, let's say 1,000 a month, which is way better. So that number actually sounds a lot more clean, and it makes a lot more sense since he runs an online marketing business and he hangs out with guys. You know, like Brandon lives in Miami. again, has a nice like penthouse suite, top floor. So you can splurge, and also you can save a lot, even if you're working up to the point that this guy's at.
What? Like my hair? 35? But even in like my hood, I'd be paying 20 bucks, 25 bucks. I'm smashing my hands. I'm so upset when I be thinking about the prices that I be paying. Getting around out here is mad easy. The 15-minute Uber, like around the city, is like $2-3. Something comparable in New York, you're looking at, 15, 20 bucks for a 15-minute Uber. That just shows you how cheap Uber is here. And now the helicopters, it's $220,000 per person. You might be sharing a helicopter with other people, or if you have a group of 6, you can just book the whole thing yourself. That's what we did. And one of the things that I would recommend is if you can take a chopper, like.
This is crazy too, because they're talking about helicopters for fun. Like, I used to spend like $30 to like 100 or more if it was like getting out of an event, like a concert, or like super traffic at like a rush hour in LA, because I lived there for a while. Think about that. $30 to 100. And what did he just say that was? Like 30 to 45 maybe for a helicopter ride. And Uber's like $2 or $3.
If your budget allows, because this is one of the more expensive things, I think it's like close to 4 million pesos to take a chopper from Medellin to Guadalupe. But then if you get to do it and go around the rock, and it's only about 45-minute ride, it's just an amazing, amazing experience. And so after running around all day eating, you want to relax a little bit. I know the boy does. So one of the things I do is enjoy private massages, and no happy endings. I know she looks beautiful, but no, we don't get down like that. For a full hour, you're looking at like 90,000 pesos for an hour. She comes to your crib, and I actually had a 2 hours, so I paid 180,000 and plus gave her a tip. And what I'll do, if you want to get a massage from Melissa, she's the homie, she's mad cool. You'll see her information. You'll see a link in the description for a blog post. I'm going to have everything laid out, because I always get a bunch of questions. Oh, where was that place? What was the address? Don't worry. Everything's in the link in the description on passportheavy.com. So I'm going to bring it full circle. I started with what inspired this video, nightlife. And I was like, man, I ain't doing that no more. My bank account don't like this. But out here, if you're getting a table in a top spot, you're looking at like 600 to 800,000 for a table. And it'll come with 2 bottles of premium. So you might be getting Ciroc, you might be getting a bottle of Buchanan, Goose, whatever your preference is, that's what'll be at your table. And each extra bottles, it's like $100 to be short. But the thing is, you don't have to do the premium way. If you want a bottle of like Ron Medellin, or they have a thing called Aguardente, they have local liquor, or Smirnoff, or whatever that it is, they sell cheaper bottles. Because in America, it's like, man, if you're not balling, you can't get no table, you can't get no bottles. Tough on you. When you get money, that's when you can get a bottle. Out here, they're like, yo, you want a bottle? We'll give you a bottle. You can spend $30 and you can still get a bottle, in the club, which I really love. And I do that quite often. And a lot of times I'm like, I don't even need a bottle. What do I need a bottle for? So you can go out literally with like $20 or $25 for the night and have a great time during the evening. I truly believe, through video, we can educate the world on what places are really like today. The perception of Colombia is, plastic surgery, cocaine, drugs, but there's so many beautiful things here. It's such a safe place. And I've learned so much here. I'm actually going to be buying a house here. That's how much I love it. And I know that's possible for so many other places around the world that are misrepresented, like places in Asia, places in Africa. And I just want to show the world what the reality of the world is versus the negative media that most of the world shows. Anyways, I'm out of here. I hope you've enjoyed. Leave a comment if
This guy's awesome. Really good video. Really good perspective on this. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much more that you can do if you step out of your comfort zone and explore the world. It's safer than you think it is oftentimes. As long as you don't put yourself in funny situations like I mentioned earlier. There's a misconception. A lot of people are really friendly, really kind, and you can just go a lot farther than maybe if you feel like you're being dragged down in your country. This guy seems like a super chill dude, so go check out his channel. I know I'm going to watch more of his videos. And then obviously subscribe over here. I'm trying to spread the message for more people to live a life by design and not one that was designed for you. See you in the next one. Peace.